What percentage of the samples of this project do you think you'd be able to find? I feel like I could do pretty good, like 80 to 90%, maybe. Well, I never thought I'd be able to further the insanity that was my MF Doom Mad Villainy versus food sample verses, but if you're even vaguely familiar with the artist and album that we're talking about today, you know that we're in for a pretty daunting task in this episode of Sample Breakdown. Pretty daunting being a gross understatement, actually, as the 5th studio album under Jane Remover's Leroy alias, Status Update Music, absolutely shatters the previous record for highest sample count on an album in this series. For reference, the grand total of samples across both of those Doom albums I mentioned was 186, and Status Update Music alone has that number beat. In fact, I'll do one better. I want you to guess the average number of samples per track on this record. That's right, 14.4. So if you're like me and also have a chronic hyperfixation with the art of sampling, buckle up, it's gonna be a hell of a ride. Last thing before we get started though, make sure to check out my live reaction to Status Update Music with the link above if you're interested in hearing my raw first thoughts on the record. And also make sure to catch me live streaming some future new releases every New Music Friday and sometimes Tuesday. It's a good time. But alright, without further ado, here is every sample on Status Update Music by Leroy, aka Jane Remover. Let's go. Kicking us off, we have the intro track, If You Think I'm a Bitch, You Should Meet Jane Remover. Funny title. And as I'm sure you're expected, we're already hit with an absolutely ludicrous sample count of 18 on this first song. No foreplay needed. First off, a brief spoken word intro for Megan Thee Stallion's 2024 track, Hiss.
I just want to kick this shit off by saying, fuck y'all. I ain't got to clear my name on a motherfucking thing. I just want to kick this shit off by saying, fuck.
Really a perfect first sample for this roster. I like to imagine that Megan's speaking directly to all of us sample hunters out there, since compiling all of the samples across this album really did feel like a big fuck you with how easy to miss a lot of them are. Joking aside though, we now have the first of many of what I like to call sample chunks. Basically, because of the sheer amount of samplage going on in most of these tracks, there's a ton of moments in the album where multiple different samples are just slapped on top of each other in different ways. So for the sake of saving some time, I've combined multiple sample clips into just one singular clip. And to avoid any confusion, in these instances I'll do my best to actively describe which part of the final song comes from which sample. Like here for instance, we have a guitar sample from the 1999 track Die Dinge des Lebens, or The Things of Life, by German post-rock band Two Rococo Rot, and a siren sound effect from Quincy Jones's 1971 track Ironside. Next up, the first of a myriad of vocal loops coming from the 2013 Miley Cyrus track, SMS Bangers.
It be like that. I got a world tour that they need me at. I can't be sitting around here waiting on a man to tell me where the fuck my... It be like that. I got a world tour that they need me at. I can't be sitting around here waiting on a man to tell me where the fuck my...
See, like other albums under the Leroy alias, there's virtually no original Jane Remover vocals on this record, so the vocal loops do a lot of heavy lifting when it comes to making each individual track stand out. And what I especially like about them is, given the sheer amount, certain artists here make a ton of appearances in the sample credits, which in turn gives the whole album a ton of cohesion, despite the chaos on the surface. Another great example up next too, as we get one of the many nods to early 2000s R&B on the record, with a sample from the 2007 track Player's Prayer by Lloyd. Keep in mind too, all 5 samples we've checked out so far, they all come in before the 40-second mark. In fact, we even get 2 more samples in here for good measure. A sound effect from the game Wii Sports Club, as well as a tiny vocal chop from the 2025 Eli song, Glitter.
You should feel like glitter. You should feel like...
I mean, you couldn't tell already, but I think that clip perfectly demonstrates the ride that we're in for with this album. And those 2 samples actually also establish another one of the recurring sampling patterns on this record. Pretty much every time there's about to be a drop or breakdown on the song, of which there are quite a lot across this whole album, most of the time the empty space right before said drop is filled up with a tiny little sample, just to keep things interesting. Okay, and we're actually already at the first instance of a repeat artist in the sample roster here, coming from another Megan Thee Stallion track, that being 2020's Don't Stop.
I got a stank ass walk and a reckless ass mouth. And my stank ass walk and a reckless ass mouth.
But yeah, I hope at this point you can already see what I mean with how the vocal samples operate across most tracks here, including our next sample chunk, which consists of the 2012 track Get It Too by the Gemini Twins and the 2006 Avant track Lie About Us.
I like my bitches super cute.
we take it back to the pop girlies again with our next sample, coming from Break Up With Your Girlfriend I'm Bored by Ariana Grande. And would you believe it, we're already at the first example of another one of this album's unwritten sample rules, that being Jane sampling the hell out of their own music. And it starts with a sample from the 2025, you guessed it, Jane Remover song, So What?
You got business fucking with a girl like me. So what if I like you?
It really is crazy how much Jane samples their already existing work, not even on just status update music, just in general. And while I think that could easily come off as lazy with a less gifted producer, it's nearly always done in an unexpected and captivating way across this album, to the point where you really never notice as a regular listener. Already back to the pop classics with this next sample now, we've got an appearance of the 2003 Britney Spears track, Toxic. You could probably also tell by this point why this album isn't on Spotify. I mean, you need like Rockefeller money to be able to clear everything on here. Moving on though, we're now at probably my favorite sample on the song. Either this one or the Avant sample for sure. Coming from the new Underscores album on the track Tell Me You Want It.
Tell me you want it, tell me you want it.
Not only is the way this one's chopped just really cool to me, but I'm always gonna be on board for an Underscores Jane Remover link up. The way the two inspire and bounce off each other musically is so fun. And getting to a weird one now, and also I guess our first interpolation in here, though honestly I wouldn't be surprised if this was just a direct sample. Basically, the melody and timbre of a very specific synth in the song has an eerily similar sound quality to a section of the 2017 track Tongue by Girlfriend of the Year.
Tongue into tongue, warm like a gun, forever young, fit like we run.
Now we've got a squeal courtesy of Addison Rae on the Charlie XCX Von Dutch remix.
Living that life. All these girls are like,
Can I get a picture?
these girls are like.
And following that, a sample from the K-pop girl group Girls' Generation and their 2013 track I Got a Boy.
Hey, yo, stop. Let me put it down another way. Hey, yo, stop. Let me put it down another way.
Alright, and finally our last sample to go over in track number 1, a short clip of Miley Cyrus and her sister Brandy Cyrus discussing Miley's song Wrecking Ball as a part of Spotify's Billions Club series.
Wrecking Ball was your first #1 single.
Rude.
What was the inspiration behind the song?
My man wasn't acting right.
What was the inspiration behind the song?
Now, little disclaimer with the sample, it actually appears on nearly every track on the album, but since in the context of the album it sort of functions as a producer tag more than anything, and just so I don't have to repeat myself too often, we're going to omit its inclusion when talking about the other tracks here. Reminder for those unaware of the rules around here as well, producer tags and stock sound effects are not counted in the series for the sake of avoiding too much repetition. But okay, with that, we're officially done with the first track on Status Update Music. Only 14 to go now. Fortunately for my sanity, however, the next track, titled after Lil Uzi Vert's EXO Tour Life, features only 10 samples this time. Never would I have thought 10 samples to be a relatively quaint amount before today, but here we are. First things first, this track is actually considered an official remix of the 2025 Jane Remover song Dancing With Your Eyes Closed.
Promise I like it like that. Promise I'll bring it like that. Promise I'll bring it like that.
Technically not a sample in a definitional sense, but I mean, it basically is, given the song literally borrows multiple instrumental elements, and I mean, like, what is a remix if not just an extended sample, right? Next up, the second appearance of Charlie XCX, this time a more direct vocal sample from her 2019 song Silver Cross.
Promise I won't let you go. I'll pull you close, so close, so close. Promise I won't let you go.
And after that, we're back to Jane Remover again already, with a sample of what can only be described as the sound of an electric dentist tool from their 2025 track Psycho Boost. Okay, and this next sample chunk has got to be my favorite so far. We've got a sample from the song Beggin' on Your Knees from the 2011 Victoria soundtrack, followed by a vocal loop from the 2013 track by EDM musician Alvin Risk titled Skyclad.
You mess with me and mess with her, so I'll make sure.
I know I've been making a few jokes at this record's expense so far, mainly because of the giant magnifying glass I've had to keep on it while making this video the last few weeks. But in all sincerity, samples like this Victorious one especially were so much fun to discover, and I really appreciate how much personality they give the album after Uncovered. Granted, I'm also biased since Victorious was like the most popular show when I was growing up, iCarly as well, and no surprises, this record is chock full of Zoomer nostalgia, so it works on me, what can I say? Case in point, our next sample chunk consisting of the 2012 hit by pop punk band Sleeping with Sirens, If You Can't Hang, as well as the 2007 hit by pop rock band Metro Station titled Shake It. And the pop influence never truly ends, as next up we've got a sample from the 2015 Ellie Goulding track On My Mind.
Why I got you on my mind? Why I got you on my mind? Why I got you on my mind?
Now this next one is a little hard to hear, so I'll try to describe it as best as I can. Once again from Jane Remover's latest album Revengeseekerz, on the track Turn Up or Die. Pay attention to the screaming in the background. And finally, fitting we don't even leave Revengeseekerz here, we have a sample of the Go scream from the track Experimental Skin.
Just get me on some free shit.
Not as strong of a showing when it comes to pure sampling as the previous track, but song-wise, I definitely like Exo Tour Life more. It's honestly probably top 3 on this album for me. We are absolutely flying through the samples now though, as we get to track number 3, I Did This For Us, which is tied for the lowest sample count on a track on Status Update Music with a measly 6. But man, do some of these pack a punch, including my new favorite sample on the album so far, which we'll get to soon. First though, we're bringing it back to Britney, this time a sample from her 2008 track Womanizer. Not too much later, actually, we're already at the aforementioned favorite. A sample from the 2010 Deftones track, You've Seen the Butcher. Now, I'm not going to pretend I'm the biggest Deftones fan out there. Admittedly, I still need to listen to way more of their records, but I just love the contrast from the original song, and the way the vocals sit on the distorted EDM palette. It's such a jarring but weirdly well-fit match. Okay, this next one though, I'm not gonna lie, I'm like fairly confident I can hear it, but it's pretty tough to catch consistently. We've got a sample from the 2006 track SOS by Rihanna. Specifically though, pay attention to the la la la's in the clip. You see what I mean? They're like either panned weird or cut at a weird time, but like the essence of Rihanna is in there somewhere. Whatever, moving on, I like this next sample quite a bit too. Coming from the Canadian EDM duo Adventure Club and their 2012 track Rise and Fall.
One breath in this moment.
Shout out featured artist Cruella as well, who actually does the sampled vocal here. Now next, who would have guessed, we get another appearance from My Goat _, this time from her 2024 track, My Guy Corporate Shuffle.
I know exactly what I am.
And finally, rounding us out, we have the first of a bunch of sampled voice lines from CSGO, or Counter-Strike Global Offensive for the dinosaurs in the audience.
Taking these guys out. Taking these guys out.
And look at that, we've already made it to my favorite song on the project, track number 4, Like Watching a Zombie Turn, with a pretty respectable sample count of 14. This first sample though, it's gonna be a little bit tricky to describe since it's also our first instance of a phenomenon not seen in this series for many moons now. Essentially, this track is considered a remix of the 2021 Leroy song Virginity Rockstar, which itself heavily samples the 2017 track Eon Break by my other goat, Porter Robinson's side project Virtual Self. Which means, yes, at long last, we have another case of sampleception. Been waiting forever to do that again. Let's fucking go, dude. I do need to drop another disclaimer, though. The real astute among you may have probably also picked up that Virginity Rockstar itself has a ton of its own samples on it. Fortunately, though, as far as I can tell, none of its unique samples actually make an appearance in Like Watching a Zombie Turn. It's literally just the Porter Robinson instrumental bass. And might I just say, thank the Lord that's the case. I could not imagine how annoying it would be to have to manually check not only every single sample on the current track, but also every single sample on the track that the current track is remixing. Man, oh man, does that sound like a real nightmare. So glad I didn't have to do that for this album. Golly, am I lucky! By the way, didn't mention it before, but this is also the case for EXO Tour Life and Dancing with Your Eyes Closed. As far as I'm aware, the only thing directly sampled in there is the synth line. It was just easier to explain for this track though, since we actually have a sample within a sample here. Makes sense? No, it's fine, we're moving on. We've got another untraditional media type for this next sample here, coming from a 1998 interview of Chino Moreno, lead singer of Deftones. Oh, and it's chunked together with this YouTube short of a dude yelling at a Karen. No, I'm not joking.
I mean, the whole, just her doing that, listening to the whole record, having no expression or no whatever kind of... Just her doing that, listening to the whole record, having no expression or no whatever kind of...
Way more standard one following this, however, with a sample from the 2012 track Jump Ya Body by Kill the Noise. Can I just say too, this song's drop is so fucking peak, bro. She's literally got me bouncing up and down while I'm writing the script, and I've heard it like 50 plus times at this point. Either way, next up we've got the Tell Me What You Wanna Hear vocal loop, which comes from a 2021 Days God track aptly titled Tell Me, plus a barely audible melody from a goated song, Something Comforting by Porter Robinson. And given this sample, and the fact Jane Remover has gone on record to say that Porter was their biggest influence when beginning music production, I can only imagine they agree with my take here. We keep the hot streak going too with another one of my favorite vocal loops. You can probably see why this track is my favorite now, originating from the 2013 track by Fifth Harmony, Don't Wanna Dance Alone. This is the kind of sample you learn about, and it makes you wonder if the pop tracks of the 2010s really did just have some special sauce to them, you know? And to top it all off, next now is a sample from another goated track, though a much more recent one than Something Comforting, that being Kamo's Bloodbath. Kamo, of course, also falling into the underscores category of being a great Jane Remover collaborator, as well as an excellent solo artist. I am still so sad that I only listened to his debut record this year and it missed my end of the year list. But back on track, fitting now we're back to another Jane Remover sample, again Revenge Seekers, again Turn Up or Die, though this time it's actually an interpolation. Alright, and now this next one, I am just so happy that this artist gets a spot on the roster. We've got the only true bald man in existence, Pitbull. Featuring on the 2010 Enrique Iglesias track, I Like It. Close enough, I guess.
Let me hear you go. Baby, I like it. The way you move on the floor. Baby, I like it.
And already back to Kamo so soon, though this time the track Aired Out, also released in 2025. The backspin effect on the chop here I think is also especially cool, and it's helped too by our next sample, the first track off Census Designated in the sample list as well, with the track Idling Somewhere. Hey, it's kinda like a Jane Remover Kamo collaboration in spirit. That's nice. As for our final sample on the song though, we have a clip of some Goku voice lines from the 2007 fighting game Budokai Tenkaichi 3.
How about we skip the introductions and get right to it, okay? How about we skip the introductions and get right to it?
Overall, elite roster here. Maybe the best roster in the entire album, though I'd have to double check on that, but I mean, great stuff all around. And not to spoil too much too early, but the next track, CROWDKILLING 101, absolutely continues the hot streak, with easily some of the coldest samples on any song here by far. Starting with one of my favorites already, a spoken word intro courtesy of the announcer from Pokemon Battle Revolution, released in 2007.
The blue corner desperately needs a win, even just one. The blue corner desperately needs a win, even just one.
Should also mention, though, if you heard the cheering in the background of the clip there, that's apparently from a Real Jane Remover live show where people chant their name, but I unfortunately was not able to find the exact clip that it's from, but it is there. We move regardless. To once again, another really strong one here. Feel like a broken record with a lot of these last few samples, but they really are also peak. This specific one being a guitar section and some vocals throughout of the 2024 Knocked Loose song, Take Me Home. Another project I absolutely have to shout out as well, even as someone still relatively new to metal. Pretty fun sample chunk up next with a combo of Usher songs. First the intro from his track Burn, peppered with a hint of drums from Yeah featuring Lil Jon and Ludacris.
But I don't understand why. But I don't understand why. She's burning me.
Shout out the Burn sample specifically too. I love how the Usher vocals get recontextualized in this super menacing performance. Really fits the song's build-up in such a unique way. And look at this too, another cohesive sample chunk up next, with two Skrillex songs back to back. Those being the 2010 track Weekends and the 2019 track with Boys Noise and Ty Dolla $ign, Midnight Hour. Pretty crazy coincidence, right? Not like I manually arrange every sample clip or anything like that. Don't pay attention to that at all, please. Okay, and now we get another pretty funny one, and honestly very well done. A looping vocal, as well as a shorter clip from the 2016 Aisha erotica track, Superhead.
I'm coming hard like a 10-inch stick. I'm doing my job, making parents sick. I'm doing my...
The push it part is also from erotica, but I simply had to put the other clip because of the coming hard line. Just felt like y'all needed to hear that too. And the vulgarity continues with our next sample here from the 2013 track by Young Dro titled FDB. 3 guesses for what you think that stands for.
Bitch said hollering about fuck me. No, fuck that bitch. Fuck that bitch. Fuck that bitch. Fuck that bitch.
And just when you thought things couldn't get more unholy, we even got a reference to Lucifer himself with the next sample, from the 2012 Skrillex and Wolfgang Gartner track, The Devil's Den. Transitioning now to the breakdown of the track, yet another strange but effective combination of samples. We've got a killer flow from the 2024 track Supernova by aespa, with additional vocals from the 1996 Quad City DJs track, Come On and Ride It, The Train. And closing this out, we've got a clip from a live performance of Psycho Boost. Followed by another voice line from Budokai Tenkaichi 3.
When he's reborn as a good guy, I'll be waiting. When he's reborn as a good guy, I'll be waiting.
Followed by one more for good measure. Sorry, almost forgot this one in the script for some reason. To be fair, it is another one that is kind of tough to hear, but I believe it's a very distorted drum loop from the 1998 track Psychic Bounty Killers Part 2 by Armand van Helden. Badass song and artist name combo, by the way. Well, with that final straggler gone, we're now officially moving on to track number 6. Nothing Lasts Forever, Every Detail You Have Ever Told Me. First up, an Olivia Rodrigo-themed sample chunk, with vocals from her 2024 song Obsessed, and the bass line from her 2023 song Bad Idea, Right?
Seeing you tonight, it's a bad idea, right? Every detail you have ever told me, so be careful, baby.
Very similar to the Usher flips in Crowd Killing, where it's essentially just combining two separate tracks from the same artist into a new combination. Pretty cool. And speaking of Crowd Killing similarities, we've got another CSGO voice line in here, in addition to a sample from the 2014 track Yeah by Awesome Alone. Featuring Pitbull again, so fucking close, bro.
Nice work.
As she walked, all that I could say was
Nice work.
Moving on to a familiar face now, Underscores makes a reappearance with a sample from her eloquently titled 2025 track, Music.
When I'm with you, it feels like music. When I'm with you, it feels
Following this, we have another sample that this album gets a decent amount of mileage from, that being the 1991 track Anastasia by Belgian techno duo T99. What I absolutely did not expect, though, was just how prolific this sample is across other EDM works, with Who Sampled alone listing 195 songs that sample this track. Now, these next two samples, while they don't technically form a sample chunk together, they are similar enough where I'll just bang them out at the same time. Two sound effects here. First, an ammo pickup sound from the Antichrist Fortnite Battle Royale. And then an incredible laugh courtesy of Funky Kong coming from my lord and savior, Mario Kart Wii. Now, I will say with this next sample, while it is another clip from Experimental Skin, the specific vocal line sampled here is not at all what I would have expected. Maybe it's just the vocal effects, but I really like the almost muffled, low-quality sound it has to it. More repeats up next, though. We've got another voice line from Budokai Tenkaichi, and then another sound effect from Fortnite.
Will you cut that out and take this seriously? Will you cut that out and take this seriously?
Not gonna lie, that ping sound effect still gives me flashbacks to COVID era, just grinding the fuck out of Fortnite and getting so tilted with the squad randoms constantly spamming that ping. Dark times in my life, man. Next, we've got a sample most similar to the T99 one here, coming from the 1994 track Wheel Up by Godfrey Gummer, also known as DJ Gunshot. Again with the cool-ass names, man.
What you right now?
And our next sample here ends the small pop music drought that we've had, with a vocal from Birthday Cake by Rihanna.
It's not even my birthday.
Absolutely love this next one though, not even for the sound of it, just the name is so funny to me. We've got this very weird sound effect from the 1991 track by another EDM duo, Masters at Work, incredibly titled The Ha Dance Pumpin' Dub. Let me tell you, the amount of times that I accidentally called this song Pumpkin Dub is absurd. Not helped by the fact that the single disc is orange. Next on our list though, we've got one that, I'll be honest, I genuinely don't know for sure if I can properly hear. So it's another sample chunk, first of the synth melody from the 2021 Leroy track Snare of a Lifetime, but we also get what I believe is a semi-chopped up version of the piano section from a super old Jane Remover track off Teen Week actually, called Woodside Garden 16 December 2012. Yeah, so I believe this is where the housey keys in the track come from, but again, this is one I'm pretty unconfident with, so if anyone can confirm or deny, let me know. Either way, just about rounding the track out, we stick with Jane samples, this one being from the track Professional Vengeance. And last but certainly not least, a sample from the Japanese electronica band Capsule and their 2006 track Jelly.
Oh my, going down.
Alright, and by now, we are steadily approaching the halfway point of the record. Hope you all have enjoyed all the samples so far, of course. But up next, track number 7, the underrated gem, Chase This Feeling. Love the super bouncy, bright, fast-paced instrumentation here, and the sample work is simultaneously so charming and still as creative as every other track so far. Starting with a pretty sweet game nod, with a reading of the item Mary's Letter from 2001's Silent Hill 2.
In my restless dreams, I see that town. In my restless dreams, I see that town.
Prepare yourself for this next sample chunk though, since we've got a 3-piece this time, with a side helping of Remixception. You thought. So firstly, a sample of the well-known Fresh Prince of New Jersey scene in The Sopranos, and on top of that, we've got a little alternating synth thing from the 2021 Jane Reaver Under Control remix, which, no surprise, is a remix of the also 2021 original version by Funeral.
Here he is, Fresh Prince of New Jersey.
So it's a sample of a remix of a song. Pretty simple, right? Very cool one up next, and undoubtedly my favorite implementation of Skrillex on this project. We've got 2024's Push with Hamdi and Taichu.
I feel good when I pull. I feel good when I push. You better
Again with the ushering comparison, but man, this one really demonstrates how different a vocal can sound depending on the instrumentation behind it. It goes from dark bro step to like this twinkly piano compliment. It's incredible. And it's layered so well with the song I admittedly don't like very much. Still a very cool sample though. Money Is Everything by Addison Rae.
Have fun. Can a girl have fun? Can a girl have fun? Can a girl have fun? Fun, fun. Can a girl have fun? Can a girl have fun? Can a girl have fun? Fun, fun.
Next up though, we get, I think, the first instance of original Jane Remover vocals on Status Update Music, though this section is apparently a pretty liberal interpolation of the 2010 track Bulletproof Love by Pierce the Veil. Definitely not the exact same melody, but you could probably hear some of the similarities. Look at this though, new game alert! Move aside CSGOs, Fortnites, Pokemons, all that nonsense. Now we've got 2016's Overwatch, with a voice line from the hero Cassidy, formerly known as McCree.
Bullseye. Bullseye.
Funny I say all of that, however, only for our next sample to take us right back to Revenge Seekers, although this time we go to probably the second best track on it, behind Dancing With Your Eyes Closed, that being Dream Flasher. Still sticking with Jane next up, but we do have a new project to talk about with this one. Vocals lifted from the post-chorus of the track String Me from Jane's indie rock mixtape last year. And man, you could just call this section jrjrjr with the amount of times Jane's appearing, since now we've got a sample chunk of a beeping synth line from 2021's Misplace, also the first track here off Frailty, with some camo vocals sprinkled on top from his 2021 song with Jane and Juno, Wide Eyes.
Shit feels the same as it always has.
And what a way to pivot with this next one. Shout out me for ordering the samples this way. I think this is fucking hilarious. Now we've had an appearance from the Champagne Poppy himself, Mr. Drizzy Drake, on 2009's basketball anthem, Forever.
I want this shit forever, mine, ever mine, ever mine.
And weirdly similar energy to me on the next sample for some reason, we've got Hey Ya by Outkast.
Y'all don't wanna hear me, you just don't dance.
Sorry I don't have too much to say about a lot of these, by the way. I mean, for one, a lot of the vocals follow a very similar structure, but also, I mean, there's just so fucking many. I don't know what to tell you, man. We are going to take it back, though, to the previously crowned MVP sample of this entire series of mine. Everybody make some noise for Think About It by Lynn Collins. with Who Sampled currently standing at a count of 4,423 songs with the Think About It sample. Wild. Maybe we do like a reverse sample breakdown and check out every single song that samples those drums. Seems like a good Mushroomz season finale, right? But future plans aside, let's actually finish up this track now with the last sample, a quaint little beat from a video titled ASMR Instant Pot White Rice Tutorial. Isn't that just so awesome? No reason necessary, and yet this sample is here anyways. Definitely the most JPEG Mafia coded moment this album has to offer. Damn, and we've really been on a tear since like watching a zombie turn. 14 count, 18, then 16. Thankfully though, track number 8, Boy Let Me Know, takes it slightly easier on us with 11 samples. Beginning with quite possibly the most unsettling song ever sampled in this series, on par with the Frankie Teardrop sample we saw in the last video, Mass Text by Tay Allen.
Why did I get your mass text? I'm in your contacts. Why did I get your mass text? I'm in your contacts. Why did I get...
Look at those eyes, bro. And like the way she raps, it's low-key giving Erica Kirk. Next on the sample list though, we've got I guess what you'd call a namesake sample with the 2025 track Jealous Type by Doja Cat.
Boy, let me know this is say. Could be torn between two.
Cool. Did I miss something?
The way this track drops is so gas too. It toes the line between goofy and hard, honestly, quite well. And it's amusingly punctuated by some Overwatch Cassidy grunts. Now though, big moment in the video as we've officially made it to sample number 100. A feat of course only seen once before in this series with Mad Villainy versus Food. Or actually, it's technically more apt to say samples 100 and 101 since they're chunked together. So which two tracks get this illustrious title? Well, we have the 2024 Match My Tweak remix of Tinashe's Nasty, with synth work from Osama Sun's 2025 track FMJ. Kinda strange one up next in my opinion, a sample from the 2014 track Metadata by Tokyo Ghost 777. So usually with these spacey synth pad samples, the whole phrase is used, so turning the sample into a quicker sound effect thing like it's done on here is pretty unique in my opinion. Sound effects keep coming too, with a familiar Wii Sports Club nod. Alright, and now, this following sample, easily my favorite on the track. Truthfully, it is just another vocal loop, but the song it comes from is so sick. We've got 2015's I Really Like You by the unsung queen of pop girlies, Carly Rae Jepsen. Three more to go with this one now, and we certainly stick to theme with a sample from the 2025 Kim Petras track, Polo.
You wanna get me up my polo shirt?
Then another Budokai Tenkaichi sample.
This is harder than I thought! This is harder than I thought!
And to close out, a little vocal loop from Jane Remover's Angels in Camo. And with that track now out of the way, it officially marks the halfway point of the sample count. Woo! Which I guess means you could technically math out the total sample count of the project and spoil the surprise for yourself, but it's fine. Things get weirder though on our first sample on track number 9, The Summer I Turned Pretty. Believe it or not, the track is actually listed as a remix of CROWDKILLING 101. I mean, they sound kinda similar, I guess, but the real evidence comes from the SoundCloud description of the song, which literally says aka CROWDKILLING 201. Regardless, getting into the proper samples now, first we have an appearance of Milkshake by Khalees, stacked with a line from Samantha Jones in Sex and the City.
First come the gays, then the girls, then the industry. First come the gays, then the girls, then the industry.
Real heavy hitter up next though, in my opinion, we've got the super manipulated chorus from Tyla's 2025 track, Chanel.
Hey, say love me, you ain't put me Chanel. Hey, say love me, you ain't put me Chanel. Hey, say
Probably could hear in the clip too how it starts super whispery and gets more and more full, but it's also like super warped and metallic-y sounding almost in like certain sections of the song. I just think it's really cool. Here, you can actually see what I mean about the Chanel sample with this next sample, this time a bullet worse sound effect from Fortnite. And let's get the obligatory CSGO voice line out of the way too while we're at it.
Talk to me, what's up? Talk to me, what's up?
Oh, and little surprise at the tail end of that clip for anyone with good ears, you might have noticed a wild Danny Brown appears. That's right, we've got a sample from his 2025 track, Lift You Up.
I don't know where to go with us. Break me down, lift you up. Break me down, lift you up.
And yes, before anyone asked, I did check, the actual Lift Me Up vocal sample that appears in both tracks here just originates from a stock vocal loop, meaning we don't include it here. Anyways, taking it back to the princess of pop, we have a sample from her 2007 track, Why Should I Be Sad?
I was crying, like, was it true? Why should I be sad? I don't know. Why should I be sad?
Big moment up next as well, since we've got a new game to talk about. This instance being a line from 1998's Duke Nukem Time to Kill.
Let's get this show on the road. Let's get this show on the road.
Now getting to the last unique artist in the track sample roster, we have a small vocal from the late Sophie on her 2018 track Whole New World / Pretend World.
Whole new world. Whole new world. I don't know where to go. Whole new world.
A fitting tribute given the influence Sophie's work had on the hyperpop genre, Jane's music included. Rest in peace, of course. Cool smaller sample here, and another underscores nod, coming from her 2025 track Do It. Also with this, I've just realized that we've now gotten a sample from every lead single on her most recent album, You. That's kind of funny. And lastly, we are graced by the presence of Skrillex one final time on this album, with a sample from his 2010 track, Due to Oliphant. Pretty strong crop of singles on this one overall, even with The Summer I Turned Pretty being among my least favorite tracks on the record. However, it certainly does not hold a candle to undoubtedly my least favorite track on Status Update Music, and the true nemesis of this video, the maddening, gargantuan, 29 sample behemoth, Right Now, Tear Me Apart. Now, admittedly, I'm sure you can already tell that I've got a pretty big bias against the song for how much suffering it has put me through during the researching process of this video. But even ignoring all of that nonsense, I just find the song itself to be a little bit too much. While I think most other tracks on Status Update Music absolutely nailed the balance between the insane Dargacore plunderphonics chaos and catchiness / listenability, this track definitely veers into just straight up sensory overload territory for me. And honestly, I do respect the track a lot, for as we'll soon see, the pure insanity of this sample roster. Like, this is one of those tracks where I try to think of the creative process behind it and like, my brain just short circuits. But as a whole, I'd consider it overall a slight blemish on an otherwise fantastic record. Enough music review talk though, you guys came here for the samples after all, so let's just rip the band-aid off and get started. Kicking us off, I'm not even joking, a 4-piece sample chunk that I'm gonna have to explain in thorough detail. Essentially, Tear Me Apart is another remix track, this time of a previous Leroy track titled Put Me Back Together on the Floor, which itself samples a shit ton of other tracks. Unlike the Virginity Rockstar / Eon Break example on Like Watching a Zombie Turn, however, nearly half the samples in Put Me Back Together also make appearances on Tear Me Apart, which yes, also means that we have like 15 individual cases of sampleception. Like, it's not even fun for me to say sampleception, that's how much this song pisses me off. Whatever, back to the first sample chunk. So, you got this phrase, I'm a petty ass bitch, don't try me, from the 2022 Baby Tate track, Petty, layered with the dumb part in Kesha's We Are Who We Are, and further layered with the pop from My Neck, My Back by Kaya. And reminder, this is all from Put Me Back Together originally, so all of it gets pasted over into Tear Me Apart.
I'm a petty ass bitch, don't try me. I'm a petty ass bitch, don't try me. Our bodies go.
All you ladies pop your pussy like this. Shake your body, don't stop, don't miss.
Catch all that? Good. We have another 4-piece to go over. First, we got that DJ gunshot sound effect sampled back in track 6, with a bass line from the 2021 Jane Remover and Kamo track Home Switcher, and additional vocals from the 2014 track BBE Challenge by DJ Taj.
Don't talk shit about me. You know it makes me mad and it comes back to bite you in the ass and
Hopefully the structure makes a little bit more sense now, and hopefully you can now also see why this track was the bane of my fucking existence when making this video. Although, we do actually have a much chiller 3-piece sampler chunk coming up. And what's extra cool is it officially marks the first instance of the series of, check this shit out, Sampleception. Literally, we've got a sample in another sample. And I truly don't think I could have asked for a better song to mark the first ever instance of Sampleception on this channel. We've already got the Put Me Back Together sample, of course, which itself samples the woo noise from fucking Caramel Dancin', which itself comes from the 1967 track In the Midnight Hour by the Chambers Brothers. Oh, and that on-the-floor vocal line in the last clip is, of course, also a sample from the 2022 DJ Hamida track Time to Move featuring Carmen. Pretty funny sample chunk next up too, as we get an unofficial JPEG Mafia and Nicki Minaj link up. The samples in question being the She Said bit from Jesus Forgive Me I Am a Thought, and a barely audible clip from the word way from Minaj's 2012 track Whip It.
Show me where the profits go. Show me how to keep my pussy closed. She said, you better catch.
Okay, and we've now got a reappearance from aespa, though this time their 2022 track, Girls. Keeping on the Korean girl group category too, with the first and only appearance of NMIXX and their 2022 track, Dice. Also, please just ignore the Put Me Back Together vocal sample in the clip. It doesn't appear in Tear Me Apart, it doesn't matter, I promise. Although weirdly enough, it does actually come from Robin Thicke of all people. You know, the Blurred Lines guy. Either way, Kamo's back again. This time with vocals from his 2022 track, Homesick. Not to be confused with Home Switcher, which we went over before, it's, I know, similar.
I just wanna kiss you again and again and again.
Yeah, that little bleep is apparently Kamo saying the word just. Shout out the nightmare that is this track's Genius page for help with that one. I mean, look at this shit. Can you believe it though? Just one more Put Me Back Together sample, and then we can start with the actual new samples on the song. Interpolation, technically, coming from the melody to the 2004 song Reach for the Moon, Immortal Smoke, which is apparently the theme for the character Fujiwara no Moko from the game Touhou Ayasho, Imperishable Night. Again, very hard to tell in the Put Me Back Together clip. I know, I'm sorry. Just try to focus on the synth playing and the melody in the background. And you know, I'd like to say, now that we're getting to the actual direct one-to-one samples, that things are going to get a little bit simpler from here on out. but we straight up start with this like Pharrell 4 count of the previous track in reverse. But wait, doesn't that technically mean Chanel sampled and Tear Me Apart then? Shut up, I already hear you asking that. While that is technically true, I have decided the rule is going to be this. If a song contains a sample, and that sample also contains a sample, then both tracks are included in Song 1's sample credits, unless Song 2 is a sample on the same album as Song 1, since it would lead to a bunch of repeats of the exact same sample in the exact same context. So since Chanel is already accounted for as a sample on this album, it's not going to be recounted unless it appears again separate from its appearance on The Summer I Turned Pretty. The things I do to maintain consistency. Let's move on. Now I've got a pretty cool movie shout with this next sample chunk, coming from a scene in 2024's Smile 2, layered on top of a little piano riff from the track Dark Knight Castle, another Revengeseekerz cut.
Paul's dead! You're not! Paul, stop smiling at me!
Repeat again next up. It's that Anastasia track previously seen in Nothing Lasts Forever. Also, pretty interesting coincidence here, considering that the next sample here is also a repeat, and also previously seen on track 6. It's the Woodside Garden song. My god, and I swear I just remembered this mid-script. We also technically have a sample from Like Watching a Zombie Turn. Fortunately, a pretty sparse one, just hidden in the background. It's the same lead synth melody.
Thinking, whatever, and I mean, the whole, just her doing that, listening to the whole record and having no...
Yeah, that one was absolutely torturous to discover. It's alright though, since this next chunk is a pretty fun pick-me-up. We have another Hall of Fame sample present as well, with the iconic drum break from Amen Brother by the Winstons, combined with vocals from the 2014 5 Seconds of Summer track, Heartbreak Girl. Repeat time, and again previously seen on Nothing Lasts Forever. Interesting how this is now the 4th sample the 2 tracks share. But yeah, it's gonna be the Funky Kong laugh from Mario Kart Wii. Okay, and warning for this next one, I think it's legitimately the hardest to hear in this entire video. We have an extremely buried vocal line from the 2025 track by Lucy Bedrock, G6 Anthem. Specifically, the second half of the phrase in the clip is where you can catch it best. Man, you guys remember when we talk about other songs in this video? That was such a great time. Following this, we have some vocals taken from Tate McRae's 2025 track, Tit for Tat. Probably my favorite sample on the song, I should add.
I might love you again. See how I feel now that you're acting like that. I never will.
Okay, and 2 left now. We can do this, we can do this. Another movie sample with this one, as we get some dialogue and whipping sounds in the outro of the song from the Go Home to Your Mother scene from Kill Bill.
This is what you get for fucking around with Yakuzas! This is what you get for fucking around with Yakuzas!
And finally, it is with immense relief that I give you the tiniest little sample at the end just to fuck with me from 2021's Gunk by Underscores.
We don't give a We don't give a
With that, we are free. Free to move on to the next track, that is. Quick viewer check-in first, though. How's everyone doing? Make sure to drink some water if you haven't in a minute. I for one, am losing my voice quite a bit if you can't hear it by now, but, you know, we gotta power through. Okay. Alright. Feeling better now. Let's close out strong with these final 5. Starting with track 11, Love Angel Music Baby, a reference to the 2004 debut Gwen Stefani record of the same name. And I honestly don't even know why I'm acting like this is all that much of an improvement, since we've still got a fairly hefty sample count of 17 on this one, but honestly, I'll take it. Song's a lot stronger than the last one too. and starts with a pretty entertaining one. The intro of the track features an extended clip of some Miley Cyrus remarks during a 2014 New Orleans live show, and it's put on top of this gorgeous section from a track titled Strange World 2000 Remake by the artist Push, or Mike Push.
But I need just even this much more of your crowd participation, which of course means that I'm gonna need you guys to make out with the person that's next to you. Of course means that I'm gonna need you guys to make out with the person that's next to you, whether that's your girlfriend or your...
Real Jane Remover fans will surely recognize the next sample here, given the sampler and the samplee share very similar names. It's of course the 2025 track, Music.BABY. Y'all are gonna like this too, again with the incredible ordering by yours truly. These next few samples all feature either similar or even the exact same song title, that being Baby. No Justin Bieber unfortunately, but we continue instead with a sample from the 2006 Pharrell track, Baby, featuring Nelly.
I see that look in your eyes, I wanna touch you, baby. Baby.
This is followed by what can only be described as a baby chunk, I guess. Hated saying that. We've got 2025's Baby by Danny Brown and 2014's Baby I by Ariana Grande.
Baby, I'm tryna say it's you're my everything, baby. Baby, I'm tryna say it's you're my everything, baby.
Apparently that Baby in the Danny Brown track might be a sample too. I was even hearing rumors of it coming from a Sophie song, but I haven't been able to find any evidence so far. Either way, sample up next is simply awesome, coming from the 2012 Major track Lights Down Low featuring Waka Flocka Flame.
Give it to me, daddy, that's what she keeps screaming. Daddy, that's what she...
And up next, a frankly legendary sound effect in Jane Remover's catalog, being the Pokemon Palkia's roar from Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, as well as a gasp taken from the 2016 Charlie XCX track Vroom Vroom. Pretty surprised the first instance of the roar comes this late in the record, honestly. Now I've got another sample chunk to go over, one half original, one half repeat. The repeat in question being the Girls' Generation track sampled in the opener, and the original in question actually being the famous 2009 8-track remix of the song Heads Will Roll by Yeah Yeah Yeahs.
Hey, yo, stop. Let me put it down another way.
Small one up next now, literally just the word Flash from the 2025 2 Alice track, Flash.
1, 2, Flash.
Oh, but man is it followed up with an absolute heater. We've got the inclusion of the 1997 Janet Jackson track, Empty.
When I close my eyes, I can see your face. When I lick my lips, I can taste your smile. When I close my eyes, I can see your face. When I lick my lips, I can taste your...
Isn't the evolution of music such a beautiful phenomenon? Penultimate sample time now, baby, and we've got a hot three-piece. Amen Brother drums, Psycho Booth synth bass, and vocals from a new entry, the 2025 Jay Stevens track, Freaky. And we finish the song up with another Pokemon sample, though this time a voice line from the trainer Helena in 2019's Pokemon Masters.
I'll follow you anywhere. I'll follow you anywhere.
Alright, and keeping it speedy now, we swiftly move to the next track, I Belong to Nobody, but Tonight I'm Yours. Love the title, by the way. And apart from the closer, this is a track I found to be probably the most sonically unique across the track list. And there's actually a sample in here that further emphasizes said sonic choice coming up later, but first a sample in the intro from a TikTok by user Michelle.OK.
I just need to, see what his mind was at when this happened. No, because I'm trying to see, did I do something wrong? Was it me? I just need to, see what his mind was at when this happened. No, because I'm trying to see, like, did I?
Followed by a sample that is simply smooth as butter from the 2002 Ashanti track Foolish.
And though my heart can't take no more, I keep on running back to you.
And already at that previously mentioned sample, we've got MIA by Drake and Bad Bunny, with some instrumental elements included from Jane Remover's 2026 track Upset. Very nice nod up next as well. We've got some synth sampled from the title track to OK Lou's 2025 album Choke Enough. And hey, she does have a collaboration on the album with Underscores, so who knows, maybe we could see an official Jane Remover OK Lou record in the future. That would be incredible. Anyways, now an admittedly pretty run-of-the-mill sample here, from the 2024 CC Natalie track, You Wanna. After that, a sample chunk consisting of these goofy-ass mischievous drums from the 1986 track Drag Rap by the Showboys, with vocals laid on top from the 2021 Brie Runaway track Hot Hot.
Ride a boy face like a Yamaha. Ride it real fast like a foreign car. Ride a boy face like a Yamaha. Ride it real fast like a foreign car.
Those drag rap drums, by the way, apparently another very popular loop, especially for more like bouncy, clubbier rap songs, with appearances on tracks like In My Feelings, Nice for What, Church Girl, Go Crazy, etc. A lot of names to keep track of in this next sample, so be ready. Here we have vocals from the 2015 track To You by Jack U, the electronic duo consisting of Skrillex and Diplo, and featuring Aluna George, the electronic duo consisting of musicians Aluna Francis and George Reed. Getting to the end of the song now, we have a spoken word section from the 2022 FKA Twigs track Oh My Love.
I went out with this boy once, yeah, and I met all his family, went to some like family barbecue. I went out with this boy once, yeah, and I met all his family, went to some like family barbecue.
And lastly, another Helena line from Pokemon Masters.
See you in the next life. See you in the next life.
3 songs left to go now, so before we reach the end, just wanted to say to anyone who made it this far, genuinely, thank you. Hope you guys have enjoyed all the samples we've gone over so far. No bid or anything, just figured given how far we are in, I owed y'all some gratitude, you know? Regardless, this next track, Get Ugly, by far the hardest song across an album already filled to the brim with high-energy explosive moments. And a big part of its intensity comes from its killer sample roster, similar to Crowd Killing 101. Starting with easily the hardest sample of the entire project, coming from the track Radio Unknown from Pokemon Gold and Silver. Genuinely such a perfect bass sound effect for this whole track to build around. And same goes for our next sample from the 2025 Zara Larsson track, Pretty Ugly.
Ever seen a pretty girl get ugly like this? Never seen a pretty girl get ugly like this. Never seen like this.
Major switch up with this next sample though. We actually have a short clip from fucking Maddie B Raps of all people, specifically his remix of Loyal by Chris Brown.
You thought it was over. Ha. You thought it was over. Ha.
And special one for all my Che lovers out there, since he returns to the sample roster with his 2025 track Mannequin featuring Xavier So Based. Now getting to the drop, we've got some fittingly blown out drums and bass from the 2024 Justice track Generator. Weird aside about this sample, but I swear to God, does it not sound like the exact same drums in Wake Me Up by The Weeknd? Maybe confirmation bias since the song also features production from Justice, but holy shit, the resemblance is uncanny. Either way, the next repeat sample here brings me so much joy, mainly just because I get to say the name of this track again. You guessed it, we've got the Ha Dance Pump and Dub. And next up, a sample from an artist I'm truthfully pretty surprised is only making their first appearance now. We've got Beyonce with her 2006 track, Freakum Dress. That could just be me though, since I'm still dealing with residual brain fog after thinking Beyonce and Rihanna were the same person for like the first 15 years of my existence. Alright, let's quickly skim through this next repeat now. We have here the third and final appearance of Anastasia. Followed by a very strong contender for my favorite sample on a song, with, like I said, a very strong roster, absolutely saucy vocals from the 1987 Alexander O'Neal track, Hearsay.
Written on my name all over town. Written on my name all over town.
And this now transitions us to the lighter, more melodic section of the track, built by a sample from the 2005 Cassie song, Me and You, as well as our old friend, the Wii Sports Club sound effect library. Tricky sample up next as well. Another Goku voice line, but plot twist, this time it's from Goku Black, from the 2024 game Dragon Ball Sparkling Zero.
The memory of all these battles have been deeply etched into my mind and body. Memory of all these battles have been deeply etched into my mind and body.
That moaning in the clip, by the way, also part of the Hearsay sample, if you didn't already guess that. Oh, and also, the Dragon Ball sample officially breaks the previous record of most samples in a video in my sample breakdown series. Crazy stuff, man. It bears repeating, but again, that previous record holder was a sample breakdown of 2 albums at the same time. Just an absolutely insane statistic, and we've still got some ways to go. Anyways, final few samples now. First, another instance of Music.BABY, albeit a very short one this time around. Also, again, I know, I'm sorry I don't have too much to say about a lot of these samples individually, except for this next one, coming from an infamous clip from Sway in the Morning with rapper Lil Debbie.
Man, you got this fake ass rapper on there, dude. You're crazy.
Oh, come on, Stewie. Get out of here, man.
You got this fake ass rapper on there, dude. You're crazy.
Oh, come on.
Okay, first of all, poor Lil Debbie, man. I don't really, know anything about her, but damn, why does this random caller just have so much smoke for her? What's going on, Stewie? Also, peep the fucking parakeet-sounding thing in the second half. What is that? Yeah, very weird clip overall, but the sample is cool. Anyways, now our final sample on this track, a tried and true CSGO voice line.
I'm attacking these guys. I'm attacking these guys.
I'll be so real with y'all. At this point in the script, I truly can't fathom that we're actually almost done. Over 180 samples and approximately 30 pages of script in, and let me get meta a little bit real quick. 2 hours and 30 minutes into the video recording process in as well, still does not feel real. But I say that to say, the penultimate track on Status Update Music, In Every Lifetime Together Like This, does a phenomenal job of sending off this album. With a near 6-minute runtime and a sample count of 19, the second highest on this record, it almost feels like a final boss of this breakdown, at least excluding Tear Me Apart. So, with such a daunting final challenge standing before us, I say we just stop wasting time and get started. Coming in with sample number 1, we've got a 2-piece of guitar from the 2022 Pink Pantheress track Where You Are, and vocals from Britney Spears' 2011 track Criminal. Next up, I believe our first J-pop sample here, coming from the girl group Perfume and their 2007 track Chocolate Disco. Following this, a very charming vocal loop from the 2011 song by actress Miranda Cosgrove, Dancing Crazy. Good follow-up to the Victoria Justice sample in EXO Tour Life too. Next we got Pink Pantheress returning in record time with vocals from her 2025 hit, Stateside. Also really love how on this track we get final nods to some of the artists most abundant in the sample roster. Case in point, the artist sampled in our next clip, Kamo, and his 2026 track, All Talk, Chewed Out. But I also appreciate that we still get some new faces in here, like Pink Pantheress, or our next sampled artist, Tidra Moses, with her 2004 track, Be Your Girl.
Don't know if you got a girl. Don't mean no disrespect, but
Listen up though, this next sample, I straight up got a hit with a standing ovation after the clip. We've got some chopped vocals from Perfume again with their 2007 track, Polyrhythm. But get this, the way the vocals are chopped up and laid on top of the drums, it literally creates a musical polyrhythm. Bravo. Bravo. I mean, like, come on, bro. Like, Jane literally just made every single Adam Neely fan fall to their knees. Moving on from that masterpiece, though, we got a new Jane Remover track to talk about with a sample from 2021's How to Lie. And with that sample out of the way, I'm ecstatic to announce we've officially crossed the 200 sample mark, baby. What a fucking accolade, man. And still, we're not done. Now we have a repeat appearance from Wheel Up.
What you now?
Followed up with a sample from David Guetta's 2011 track with Usher, Without You, as a nice little bit of ear candy.
Without you, without you, without you, without you.
Now, this next artist, even more so than Beyonce, I am insanely surprised to only see appear this late into the roster. We've got Nina Girachi and her 2025 track iPod Touch. And up next, what has to be the shortest clip in terms of pure length of sample, with literally about a third of the word go uttered by Anthony Fantano, while reacting to Jane's track 52 Mondays on his stream.
Hyperpop breakbeats, go!
Okay, and reaching some of our final sample chunks in the video now. Damn, am I gonna miss using that word? First, the combination of the Charlie XCX gasp on Vroom Vroom, and a short clip of the 2024 track by singer Eves titled Viola.
Let's get down and break shit.
I just need some
And who could have guessed this? Our next chunk is an absolutely unheard of second instance of remixception. We've got a heavily chopped vocal from a 2021 Jane Remover produced track titled, quote, Addison Rae, iPod on the beat, obsessed, switched, at Just Like You, under the name Twerk Nation 28, a now defunct SoundCloud collective Jane was affiliated with around this era. And this track, of course, being a remix to Obsessed by Addison Rae.
You say you're obsessed with me, so I took a second and I said me too.
Now though, getting to the final two samples on together like this, again driving home the theme of finality here with two interpolations, each from a different existing song from Jane. First the melody from the previously seen Music Baby, followed up by an interpolation from the 2025 track Believe, under Jane's side project Venturing.
Jesus don't like bitches, I was putting down straight. Baby, believe in tell me what makes you cry. Tell me what you believe in.
And can I just say, after a whole project of sample after sample after sample, It is genuinely such an awesome moment to have virtually everything stripped away in the last third of the track and just feature a Jane singing section. Really an unforgettable moment to spiritually close out this album. I say spiritually given it's not actually the album's closer, but it might as well be given our 15th and final track here, Summer Fling, is a Bound 2-esque semi-epilogue featuring a drastically different sound to the rest of the record. So, to those of you who didn't make it this far, after all the bumps in the way especially, hope you can enjoy this smooth final trek to the finish line. First off, let's get the obvious out of the way. Summer Fling is a cover of the 2013 track of the same name, by the duo Melodic Chaotic, consisting of Willow Smith and DJ Fabriga.
Just a couple months, but we do it anyway. It's only for the summer, but we do it anyway.
You probably also heard the Think About It drums in that clip there, which, yes, is our next sample. That and a sample from the 2001 track by Japanese singer-songwriter Hikaru Utada, Distance. Though, ironically enough, the only thing present in that clip from Think About It are the woos. A nice way to wrap up some of the other classics in the roster up next, with our final CSGO voice line, and our second and final Pokemon Masters voice line.
I'm heading over.
I'll follow you anywhere.
I'm heading over.
And last, but certainly not least, I wanted to end this journey with an extra special final sample. So I went with the short vocal loop from the 2004 Gwen Stefani track, Cool, which of course just so happens to come from her debut record, LOVE.ANGEL.MUSIC.BABY, of course the namesake for track 11.
Although we've been through, I know we're cool.
And so, that officially does it. There is every single sample on Status Update Music by Leroy, aka Jane Remover, with a jaw-dropping grand total sample count of 216. Though, let's be honest, I definitely missed at least one in here. In fact, here's a list of every sample that's listed on Genius that I just straight up couldn't find. As you can see, a lot of familiar names here, especially Jane Remover, so I'm guessing a majority of them are just like super niche sound effects buried under 13 layers of other samples. And while we're at it with the fun stuff, here's some graphs with the stats of Status Update Music samples, including the number of appearances from each unique artist, the number of repeats, average release year of sample, type of media sampled, all that fun stuff. I've also linked the sheet in the description for any fellow data goblins who want to sink their teeth in a little bit deeper. But yeah, with that, we're officially at the end of the video. To those who stuck around, genuinely, thank you so much for giving the whole thing a watch. I know I was joking about it throughout this entire script, but this truly was such a long, very tedious at times process, so it really does mean the world if anyone out there does get some enjoyment out of it. And of course, all digs aside, Status Update Music is probably my favorite album of the year so far, and another phenomenal work by Jane, who is certainly shaping up to have one of the strongest album discographies of their generation, which is absolutely wild to say for someone who's 22 years old. I mean, I'll say, certainly would not have put this much time into breaking down all of these samples if the album wasn't good enough to justify it. So yeah, hope this video was enough to get anybody that somehow hasn't given Status Update Music a full listen to absolutely do so. Other than that, as always, make sure to like the video and subscribe to my channel with the bell rung to see new uploads and live streams twice a week from yours truly. Oh, and do that new YouTube feature too where you can hype up the videos, that apparently helps a lot. Also, of course, leave a comment letting me know if I did miss any samples across this project. I did. Or just what your favorite sample on the record was. And as always, if you'd like to support the channel further, you can now become a member and receive early access to all of my videos, as well as a special shout out for me at the end of them, as you can see on screen right now. So join up if you're interested, it really does help me out a lot. But yeah, that's about it.
J